Hey everybody, welcome back to another review. Hope you guys been enjoying the content on the channel as of late. Excuse me as I pull up my notes right in front of me. Um, this one's an interesting one for me because I have heard about this franchise, but it being mostly a superhero thing, I found myself fairly disinterested. Um, but I figured, to give it a shot, just to say that I at least am familiar with the material. That film being Shin, Kamen Rider, or as it's known in other parts of the world, a Shin Master Rider. Um, and it's I don't know if I'm just speaking nonsense, but um, I believe that the franchise is in some respects an origin point to Power Rangers. I think I could be wrong on that. I know that in Japan it was called Super Sentai. So I know that there is two varying brands. One of them being just made by Toho. The other was like a Japanese thing that was imported to America. Um, um, but Kamen Rider or Shin Kamen Rider is about basically a bunch of mutant-like creatures or mutant-like hybrids, where the humans are wearing these leather jackets and cool-looking masks, and each one of them has a distinct insect-like quality to them. So if our main protagonist is associated more to grasshoppers, where other people are associated with scorpions or with wasp at one point. Um, so and it was all done from an organization who was trying to meld these two elements together, and the founder of that company realizes the destructive capabilities and all that sort of stuff, and then essentially what happens is it becomes a chosen one story. It kind of thrusts you into it with this like absurd like sequence, um, which pretty much establishes the type of exaggeration that you're going to get from this. Um, in that's that this person was embedded with the insect-like qualities, particularly the grasshopper qualities, and he is tasked to help destroy the organization with the help of the father's daughter, um, and try to become a vigilant sort of figure in the form of Masked Rider or Kamen Rider, as it's labeled in Japan. So, um, as I said, I'm not really familiar with Kamen Rider. I know that there's something to do with belts. I know there's something to do with the mask, but I never knew about the insect-like quality that the Kamen Rider had, um, and the just the preposterous, type of approach. Really, I mean, it's quite just disorienting. At least this particular film is. Um, and the opening is just an exaggeration, like absolutely, like up to 100%, where there's people just like the jumping shots is the thing, like people flipping and jumping and flipping and jumping. That's most of the action, really. And it can be quite ludicrous when watching it. um, and ultimately what, because it's weird for me to say it, because I mean it's quite irrational in terms of its pacing, and like I said, it is very disorienting to watch because of how many edits and just the way that it's put together, the nature of its action sequences, and just it's the ability to buy in. There is a little bit of quite a distance that's felt, um, but the strange thing about all of it is there is an entertainment value at the center of it, because what it does at the beginning is, like I said, it establishes this ludicrous like nature to it. And now that you are sitting with that for a good amount of time, you become comfortable in that type of exaggeration. And I mean, it's fairly nonsensical, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's just again preposterous, um but it also doesn't have a completely aimless narrative to it. There's a nice, not nice, but a fair, emphasis on the cost of violence, and a lot about, sociopaths, the mindsets, how their viewpoints on, what makes them happy, and also the variations of how one adopts that mentality, and how they perceive their paths towards happiness. So it is, interesting themes that are explored, and like I said, there is a strange entertainment values at the center of it, because of its exaggerative like qualities, but it's preposterous in that like it's just like it has all the merit, all the ability to be something just dreadful. Like if like I'm surprised that I don't hate it, because I think that in a different mood I might just be ripping on this, but as I said, it's disorienting. It is very irrational in terms of how it's paced and how it's structured. Just completely loon in terms of action sequences. But because of all of that being so, because of all that being at the forefront, especially at the opening, and establishing that tone at the very beginning, there's a part of me that went, okay, well, at least I'm given a good amount of time to be comfortable within that mentality, and to kind of sit with it and find my place in it. And like I was able to find some entertainment in there and some attachments. I mean, it's thin, but it's there. So I don't think that it's, is it? I mean, it is a little too long. I mean, it's like about 2 hours. I think it could have been a lot shorter than that. But I mean, I'm not familiar with the show, but I mean, based on what I've seen, it seems to have paid a good respects to the TV show, and whatever else came before it. It's absurd. It's ridiculous. It's the reason why I bring up Power Rangers also is because it just feels like it, like just the way the action sequences are crafted and just the overall aura of it. It just feels like Power Rangers to me. Except, here, thankfully, there's some merit to be had, thematically speaking, and to some measure the characters to follow. They're not completely annoying. So, I mean, the masks look cool. I mean, like the look of the Kamen Rider looks cool, or the look of these characters look interesting. It is absolute cheese. I mean, do not I'm not trying to give it any higher marks than that. It is complete cheese, but thankfully, the kind of cheese that it is somewhat entertaining. It's not. It is far from good or even great. It is, complete mediocrity and complete utter cheese. But thankfully that cheese is met with some entertainment value. So, and because of the establishment of its absurd qualities at the very, very start. So, because if it was established anywhere else, I would have found it to be completely irritating. But since it's right there at the start, it's telling you, look, this is how it's going to be. You're either in or out. And I was kind of somewhere in the middle. So those are my thoughts on Shin Kamen Rider. I might check out Shin Godzilla at some point because I'm curious to see how that played. But that's my taste of Kamen Rider. So you guys let me know your thoughts on Shin Kamen Rider. If there's any Kamen Rider fans out there, is this a good film, or is this a good representation of Kamen Rider? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And that's going to be it for me, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. And until then, I will catch you guys in the next video.